You're ready whenever I am.
Yep.
I'm ready whenever you are.
Welcome back to the BritCaveBlitz. This is.
Oh my god! I think I just pooed myself.
Come on.
Well, welcome to another episode of the BritCaveBlitz with me, Smith, at SkyDaddySmith on Instagram and Instagram only, and the hostess with the mostess.
Sam Stess.
Yeah, boy. No social still, but you can follow the podcast on all socials at BritCaveBlitz. That's TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Does YouTube count as a thing? Yeah, it does.
I guess so. But not Facebook, so he does lie when he says all social medias.
That's true, and not Threads, and not Blue Sky.
I've never heard of Blue Sky.
I think it's something that somebody made to basically be a new Twitter without the whole toxicness of Twitter.
That's what makes Twitter fun, innit?
I was trying to remember what that other one was called that people used in college that was very like scene kid or emo.
Oh, MySpace.
No, not MySpace.
Oh, My Yearbook. Or My Face. What was it called?
Tumblr?
Is that the one you mean? Oh, Tumblr. Yeah. I remember Tumblr.
No, I just remember Tom used it constantly.
Are you Tumblr famous? That's what I remember.
What?
Nothing. Don't matter. Let's move on. It's week 3. Well, it's just been week 2. We're coming up to week 3. It's very exciting. But
Going
first,
into week 3. Week Trez.
But first, we have to do the news, and rather than it being normal news, because not much news has happened, this is going to be more like an obituary for the dead players.
Yeah.
From week 2. So,
wait. Let me quickly just play the music for it. Okay, ready? Count me in.
1, 2, 3. Jurassic Park. So, unfortunately, there's not much. There's not much actual full-on news. So we thought we would just list off the injured people. So we'll start off. Joe Burrow. He is supposed to be out for a minimum of 3 months with a grade 3 turf toe injury. Obviously, the injury isn't putting him out for that long. It's the surgery recovery time. Then you've got Kalijah Kancey, who suffered a torn pectoral muscle in his win over the Bucks. That means he will miss the rest of the season. JJ McCarthy.
He's on the Bucks. Win over the Texans.
Yeah, sorry. He's on the Bucks. The win over the Texans. Sorry. JJ McCarthy is going to miss week 3 because he's shit. Jaden Daniels is in doubt for week 3 because he suffered a knee sprain. Cooper Beebe is expected to miss 6 to 8 weeks with high ankle sprain. So obviously his sprain is worse than Jaden Daniels by a factor of 7 weeks. Aaron Jones has been placed on injury reserve for a hamstring. So that could be months, who knows. And Khalil Mack decided he really wanted to itch his own back and decided he'd bend his arm the wrong way. There's no confirmation, but it doesn't look like he'll be playing anytime soon. That was a quick rundown of the injuries. Obviously, the quarterback ones are obviously massive. JJ McCarthy also suffered a high ankle sprain. So judging by the fact that Cooper Beebe is out for 6 to 8 weeks and Jaden Daniels is out for 1 week, JJ McCarthy, we have no clue. Could be out for any number. Obviously, all of the QBs, Joe Burrow, McCarthy, Jaden Daniels, they're all starters, so losing them is highly impactful. But what about the other 4? How do you feel that will impact the teams?
Aaron Jones, I think, is quite impactful. Actually, no, I don't think he's as impactful as you would first think because Jordan Mason is a really good backup running back. Yeah. And to be fair, I thought I'd see a much more of the field to begin with. So this has kind of been a blessing in disguise for him. I was going to say that obviously losing Aaron Jones loses you that like reliability in the run game for a rookie QB, but even the rookie QB is not playing, so
No, they got Carson Wentz.
never mind. Answer good defensive player. It does, weaken that defensive line for the Bucks. Maybe, they'll be a bit more susceptible to the run game now. We'll have to see. But obviously, their big guy in the middle was always Vita Vea. So like it's more if Vea was injured, that means a double team is now free to either help double team somebody else or split some two more blocks. With Kansi, I think it was usually more a one-on-one because they were concentrating on Vea. So I don't know how much that is going to change things.
Didn't he? Wasn't he injured for a part of last year as well?
I'm not sure.
Let me double check. I don't think he played all of last season. How do I check? He played 12 games last season, so I can only assume it's through injury.
Then we've got Khalil Mack. Obviously, that's not confirmed, but I think if he's out, he's probably their main guy on that line. Like he's their main disruptive defender on that line.
Yeah, it's more of an outside linebacker, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. Like he's big on the rush and putting pressure on the quarterback, really.
Yeah, and it makes losing Joey Bosa look even worse.
Yeah, that's true. And then I'm spacing on the fourth person.
Cooper Beebe, Cowboys starting center.
Cowboys center, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got a strong. They had a strong line. I'm not sure how much that affects them in the middle. I guess it depends on who they're playing. But in their division, they've got the Eagles, who have Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis in the middle, two really big guys who you kind of do have to double team. And the Giants have their beefed up O line, D line now, with Sexy Dexy in the middle. So it could be impactful and put some pressure on Dak. And we're already going to see the fall of Dak in week 3. I don't think that one's too impactful because I think that line is strong. That line is good when they're not giving away penalties.
So
penalties that whole line.
I was going to say the guy that they've got in to replace, or not got in, the backup center is a guy who's never played a snap before. I mean, I know it's not typical for backups, like backup centers, to be taking snaps, but I don't think this guy's even ever played a preseason snap at center. He played guard a little bit, but yeah, I think when he was drafted, he was an undrafted free agent. He made it onto the practice squad, and then Dallas Cowboys picked him up for the practice squad. And then, he did start. He started in place of one of the Tylers last season.
Well, that could have been anywhere.
Yeah, no, at center. He started at center in place of Tyler in the third game against the Arizona Cardinals, and was signed to the active roster on September the 30th. He started
I was going to say, obviously, when we see O-line get drafted, obviously paid a bit more attention to it in the past couple of years, and then look back on a few people, you do see a lot of players, if the guard or the centre position, they're usually the ones that if they already have a standout in that area, they switch them to the other one. I guess usually if you draft a tackle, the only time they switch is if they switch sides of the line.
So the reason I thought Brock Hoffman hadn't played is because he didn't have any stats. So forgive me for being.
Yeah, it just turns out when he did play, he just never let anything past him. So that's the reason he has no stats.
Because he was so good. So he's been in the league. This is his 4th year, and he started 9 games. The only reason I'm saying that is obviously center is one of the more important and more you want a more experienced player in that position. So it's probably going to be a big miss.
Yeah, definitely.
Losing your starting center. I guess that about wraps it up for news, considering that, like I said, there wasn't much. Would you like to do hot takes week 2. We're bringing it back.
Yeah.
You enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. We said, shall we do this every week? We said yes. It was a really interesting conversation.
Every week. It's amazing. So it gets us those big, fat, juicy clicks, baby.
You can start us off this week, as I started off last week, with your first hot take of the week.
Okay, so my first hot take of the week. I think we should be discussed that. I don't know if you're doing them this way, but I'm kind of doing them after like what I've seen in the weeks prior to me saying them. So whatever weeks have passed, I'm kind of using them as evidence for saying these. First hot take of this week is quarterback Russell Wilson should be QB3. Start Dart, put Jameis as QB2. All I'm seeing that is good from Wilson is some accurate deep balls. Apart from that, fuck him off. I think
that is a hot take.
It's time for him to do the backup role, just help teach the young guy, help develop him. But on the field, you're not making the right decisions. You're not playing well to allow this team to win. And I think you're getting close to the end of your career. So just start passing the knowledge. Stop being a player. Start becoming a teacher.
To be fair to them, they made it to overtime because of him. But then they did also lose overtime because of him. But that is a hot take.
Yeah. I mean, I did add to it as well. I reckon that's my hot take, but I reckon the Giants will not recognise that until like week 7 or week 8, and then be like, shit, let's turn it around now and see what we can do. And it'll be too late to turn around the season then, regardless of how well whoever they start after that plays.
That's a fun first take. Starting off very hot. I'm going to come in hot then and not write the first one that I wrote, read the first one I wrote and go for the second one because it's a bit hotter. And I'm going for that the Eagles won't make it past the wildcard round.
Ooh, juicy.
I'm not convinced. I know they beat the Chiefs. The Chiefs look terrible. The Eagles look equally as terrible. They just have, I don't know, they have an all-round better team. I'm not convinced by them. They're only going to make it into the playoffs because their division is nowhere near as competitive as other divisions, especially this year. Yeah, they'll get knocked out week 1 by the Rams, probably.
No, I mean, like, I get it. You're saying in week 1, you're not convinced, you're not feeling that this is the team that should have won a Super Bowl. I completely get that. And I think I see that definitely in the passing game as well.
Well, the lack of.
Yeah, the amount AJ Brown is just being underutilized and literally just. I don't know if he's been used as a blocker or he's just being used as a distraction, but the ball is barely ever going his way.
Well, I mean, and not only that, it's like obviously he's getting clowned for throwing 101 yards, which isn't great. But he also had 22 passing attempts. If you're going to attempt to throw it 22 times and only get 101 yards, that's bad. That's really bad. That is checkdowns at best. The whole game.
What is that? Just under 5 yards?
Yeah. 5 yards an attempt. I think he made 15 completions. I'm not convinced. And obviously they're 2-0, which is the best way for you to make it to the playoffs. They're just not. I said it last week. They could just be doing the thing where it's like, we're just going to do the bare minimum and win every game by 2 points, 3 points, 1-score games. And then we'll show up the Chiefs tactic and then show up in the playoffs. But I don't know. I'm just not convinced.
I completely understand where you're coming from.
Number 2 for you.
All right, hot take number 2. Hot take for 2. All right, the way that I see this quarterback playing, did you recognise that I picked quarterbacks this week, by the way?
No, sorry, I thought you was talking about QB3s.
Oh. The way that I've seen this quarterback play, not only this season, but in the previous season, the grit and determination, the absolute, just battering ram that he is when he's not able to get the ball and he can escape the pocket. I think if he was always going to turn out like this, if he went somewhere like the Lions instead of the Bucks, these past 2 seasons, Baker Mayfield would have won a ring or two.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially like last year, like that game that Goff, was it 4 picks that he threw?
That was the playoff game they lost. The one
Yeah.
they had a game against the Texans that they won, but he threw 5 picks.
Yeah. If Baker Mayfield went there and went on this trajectory that he did in being a good QB and developing himself and everything, I feel like he to me embodies the like a Lions player, but he's just in the quarterback position. And I think
Yeah.
that over those past 2 years, while they've been amazing, he would have won them a ring or possibly two.
I mean, I get it. We're undoubtedly huge Baker Mayfield fans. Unfortunately for you, he's in your division, but we don't deny how much we like Baker Mayfield. But yeah, I mean, he leaves it all on the field. He's looked
I mean,
really good for
just
Tampa Bay. So yeah, I would put him above the Lions, and the Lions are a capable team. I don't.
yeah.
I
Well,
don't.
that was the thing for me that that was the fault last season in those games. I mean, he played bad but still won. That was lucky. And then the next week he played bad and they lost. And it
Yeah.
was due to the position. And I also think it is because Goff isn't a mobile quarterback as others. If they had somebody there a bit more mobile, that could have been that could and probably would have been a win.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, obviously, when you've got a less mobile quarterback, it's far more one-dimensional, isn't it? And if you can get past the line, you can make that game very hard for that offense. If you can make it past the offensive line regularly, as we saw with the Packers. Obviously, they have a great offensive line, so it's never too much of a problem. But yeah, if you have someone who has the capability of also being a great passer but can break off on a run, is a bit more dynamic, like Baker Mayfield, it's obviously going to be a bit better, isn't it? So I like the take. My
What's your
hot
take?
take, my hot take, and this is piping hot. This is straight from the oven. I think Malik Nabers will win the Triple Crown
Ooh.
simply because we'll talk. I want to talk more about him when we get to talking about the games. He's unbelievable. Basically, every time they're losing a game, which the Giants are going to be losing a lot of, he's going to be the main target. They're going to be throwing it all the time because Russell Wilson loves to throw it. He's going to get a lot of targets. He can pretty much catch anything. Yeah, I think he'll win the Triple Crown.
I mean, I did already say this is what Russell Wilson is good for: a deep ball and deep ball only. And a deep balls always end up going Neighbours' way. So
Exactly. It's probably
understand.
not that. It's probably not that much of a hot take. I mean, it's a bit extreme to predict someone to win a Triple Crown, but yeah, that's my
Yeah, I mean, I
hot
guess
take
that's all.
number 2.
When he went to the Giants, and everyone was like, "Well, his season's cooked," and then he still broke 1,000 yards with Daniel Jones behind that terrible O line. So anything is possible.
Anything is possible.
I almost did that as well, even though that's not the song.
No, it's not. I know it's not.
Everything is awesome.
I know it is. Third, final hot
Hot take
take.
number 3. Okay, so this is the so I've done these in backwards order. So I wrote down this one and I thought that one's juicy. Let's find some other ones for this position. So my third and final hot take: Joe Burrow,
Yeah.
will never win or appear in a Super Bowl with the Bengals.
Again. Yeah. I mean,
Never.
I won't. Well, they've already done it once, so that's why I said
Oh, I know
again.
this. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, never gonna happen again.
I mean, it's a good take. I won't call it a hot take per se, but yeah, I completely agree with you. They're spending too much money on 3 people right now. They don't want to protect Joe Burrow. They don't want to spend on defense. If they make a Super Bowl, I would be amazed.
No, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think that ever gonna happen.
No, you need to go somewhere else. I mean, and this is a hot topic at the minute, isn't it? In the news, everyone talking about if you go somewhere or anything like that. So yeah, good take. Should I do
Yeah,
my
I mean,
third? Go on.
like I was thinking, oh, it'd be hotter take to say never make the playoffs, but I think they're a good team offensively. I think there are going to be years where they're going to make the playoffs, but they don't have the complete package, so they'll never make it to the final destination.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, being good across 17 games, you can sneak in with 9 wins. 10 wins is a bit better of a chance to get in.
When you're at 9
then,
wins, the ones where you're hoping somebody else loses, and then that puts you in that position.
But that's what I'm saying is they can get to 9 or 10 wins and maybe scrape themselves into the playoffs. But yeah, then you've got to go and not make a mistake for 4 games straight. That's not happening. My third and final hot take is by the end of the season, someone will catch a spike. There will be a spike interception.
Do you mean like the Jalen Carter thing where he dives under the center's legs?
Yeah.
Okay.
By the end of the season, someone will catch a spike. Do you not see it in the was it Washington game? Who's their defensive tackle?
What is in Washington's defensive tackle tried to do it, or they did?
Darren Payne, I think it was. He literally got his hands on it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's that crazy of a thing. It's not to be expected. So when QBs are doing the spike, it's not like they're looking and aiming where they're spiking it. So it is a possibility, but man, does the get off the line have to be perfect?
Oh yeah. And I think more people are going to try it. And
it was last year. I think it was the year before Jalen Carter tried it. So that's twice in 3 years.
He tried it a couple of times last year. I think he tried it against almost said Eagles. I think he tried it against the Commanders, against the Chiefs last year, if I remember. And someone's going to do it. I just hope someone does it.
I mean, that would be spectacular if it does happen, and I do hope that happens as well.
Yeah.
But that does conclude our second round of hot takes for the podcast.
Yeah. Devontae Wyatt. It was Devontae Wyatt who tried it against the Packers, and he got damn close. Oh no, Devontae Wyatt against the Commanders. He plays for the Packers, doesn't he? And he really went for it. It was impressive how close he got, by the way. So that's what prompted my hot take. It's because he is close.
Yeah.
Like he punches the ball.
Yeah, I mean, Daniel spikes that weird, doesn't it?
Yeah, he does spike it a bit weird. He throws it down with both hands, doesn't he, rather than the typical spike action.
Yeah, two-handed basketball pass.
Yeah, it's like a push. Yeah, it's like a push pass, isn't it, into the floor? And he got so close to getting it. I kind of wish he did. We're going to go through the week 3 games. We're going to try and be a bit quicker because we recognise that last week's episode was 2.5 hours.
Watching stream. Oh, what? This is just a video of you pissing.
Oh, sorry, wrong video.
Wrong window.
I always keep it up on the side to keep me motivated. Week 3.
I almost said week 1 then, but it's game 1.
It's game 1, week 3. Thursday, Friday early morning, Thursday night game in America is Miami Dolphins at the Buffalo Bills. Obviously, the Miami Dolphins lost to the almighty Patriots 33-27, and the Buffalo Bills won their game to New York Jets 30-10. Is there anything you want to say about this game other than the Bills should absolutely destroy the Dolphins?
No, I was actually going to say that the Bills are going to absolutely destroy the buildings. The Bills are absolutely going to destroy the Dolphins.
Yeah.
We saw improvements from Miami last week, and then they're going to go back to the week 1 of getting absolutely destroyed because guess what? We started this episode talking about news, and they were basically all injuries. Guess who got injured and wasn't a pussy about it? Our boy Josh Allen broke his nose. And I'm going back in. I've seen what my wife's like around blood. I saw whatever that film was called with
Sinners.
Sinners, yeah, that film. Yeah, I'm going back in.
Yeah, I mean, every single week he makes me hate him more because he's making me like him more. It's really unfortunate. However, yeah, the Bills should walk this. I just get this icky feeling like Bills always have this weird game that you're like, how the did they lose that? And it just feels like one of those games. However, just Miami just don't have anything together. Like we made.
They're not great this year, but don't they always do shit coming into the cold weather as well?
Oh yeah, exactly. They're going up to the Bills, but it's still September, so it's at least it's not in the middle of December.
Yeah, but it's
We
Buffalo, and they're like still 4 inches of snow everywhere.
yeah, our defense, well, our secondaries, we're missing Gonzo. I'm not going to talk about us too much. So I think we flattered the Dolphins a lot with Tua throwing for over 300 yards. So yeah, I don't think they so much has improved. Just played a worse team. I won't be shocked if they get absolutely walked all over. However, that little part, like that little back and forth in the fourth quarter where they returned a 74-yard punt and we returned a 90-yard kickoff, was perhaps the best 2 minutes of football I've ever watched in my life.
Oh yeah, that was exciting.
Yeah,
But I can't wait for the Dolphins to kick the ball, get it at the Bills' 1 yard line, and then Josh Allen just runs it 99 yards.
yeah. I think one of the things they need to focus on is trying not to turn the ball over. Maybe if they can go before winning a game, maybe they can try and focus on not turning the ball over for one game.
Okay, but
And that might be a step in the right direction.
You can't say that. It's not logical because Tua has already said that's just a part of the game. So
Yeah,
you can't count on that.
yeah. But anyway,
Bills are going to win.
Bills will win this game.
That bit doesn't count because the time already ended. I said it, you didn't.
That brings us on to the next team. That's good. Well, basically,
We're watching back-to-back annihilations. Okay.
the first Sunday game, second game of the week, is the Green Bay Packers at the Cleveland Browns. Now, the Green Bay Packers won their second game, beating out the Commanders 27-18, and the Browns lost their second game, getting destroyed by the Ravens 41-17. If Green Bay doesn't win this game, then I'm going to assume hell froze over or something. There's no way Green Bay don't win this game. They've already played probably two of the hardest teams they're going to face, minus the Eagles maybe or the Ravens, and won them both convincingly. So if they don't beat the Browns, I will be shocked. The Browns got absolutely destroyed by the Ravens. I currently think the Packers are a better team than the Ravens, even though Lamar is potentially going for his third MVP. Yeah, that's how I feel about this game.
I have no worries about the Packers winning this. The only thing I'm thinking is the Browns' defense is still good, so they're just not going to put up as many points as they have done the past two games.
I mean, they just got 41 put on them.
Yeah. No, I know, but that's because of Lamar being as scrambly as he is.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, Jordan Love is definitely no Lamar.
I guess maybe not like the whole team, but like I definitely don't think Josh Jacobs is going to do as well this game unless it's screenplay type things.
Well, I mean, Derrick Henry had a bad game against.
Yeah, because they kept trying to run him up the middle. Why would you run him up the middle? Why would you just consistently do this and think, oh, that didn't work, let's do it again? You fucking moron.
I do think Judkins looked decent for the Browns, so at least they have that going for them. Terrible Joe Flacco throwing more interceptions. And then on the other side, the Packers, Tucker Kraft looks great, doesn't he? Some would say he looks like Green Bay's version of Rob Gronkowski. What do you think about that?
Don't take my hot take I'm saying, please.
It's too late, I said it.
No! It was my hot take. I have the text chain. I can show date. This was recorded on the 16th of September. When did I send you that text? Was that also on the 16th of September? Do I have to say times as well?
No, but truly, Tucker Craft had an amazing game. Jordan Love
Oh yeah,
again.
he looks great.
Jordan Love was good, doing what he needs to do. I think I said in a text with Greg is like, I think because he's no longer that guy, like has to be the guy or feels like he's the guy. It's relieved a lot of pressure, and he looks far more comfortable now on the field than he did last year.
Yeah.
So yeah, they should be an easy win for the Green Bay Packers over the Cleveland Browns. If you asked me before week 1, which is the week 3, which will be the week 3 most boring game of the week, I would say the Indianapolis Colts at Tennessee Titans, but that's all changed now with the Indianapolis Colts beating the Broncos 29-28 in an absolute thriller, and the Titans losing to the Rams 33-19. Give me your thoughts on the Colts led by none other than Daniel Jones.
We've got recorded evidence. I told you I had a feeling about this game. It came off.
You predicted it. You predicted them to beat the Broncos.
I had a gut feeling, and then 5 minutes later said that the Broncos will take it. It wasn't the greatest game, don't get me wrong, but honestly, I think all it's doing in my mind is proving that having an okay to good O-line and having that great running back who is healthy, like that, Daniel Jones thrives because he's not the center of attention for the defense. He can actually, get the ball out and just pass it off every now and again. I'm not going to say he's a good player, but he's currently in a good system for him. And I guess that the whole thing is heightened because it's sort of this is how Daniel Jones could have looked. The Giants are kicking themselves type of thing. This is like a bounce back, comeback year for him. He could be in the running for comeback player of the year because of how bad everything went with New York and then coming here and doing so well. Who knows?
What I will say about Daniel Jones, just while you were talking about him, he is currently second in passing yards behind Russell Wilson. The difference being the Colts are 2-0 and the Giants are 0-2. So clearly he wasn't the issue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he looks great. There's no two ways to put it really, is there? I think he's got a passing touchdown in both games, and he is got how many rushing touchdowns so far? 3 rushing touchdowns.
That's 3, yeah.
Yeah, like you said, he threw for 316 yards against the Broncos on 34 attempts and didn't turn the ball over, which is probably not what you expect from Daniel Jones, but well done him. Yeah, he's looking really good. The Colts look really good, to everybody's shock.
Yeah, definitely. On the other side, I think I expect more from the Broncos offense against them.
Why are you talking about the Broncos? They're playing the Titans.
Oh, that's who they did play. Yeah. The Titans. Look, I'm not gonna lie. Cam Ward looks great. This is going to be a shit year for him just because of what's around him. Maybe year 2 they'll draft some stuff to build around him. But I think he looks great. I think the defense is still okay. I think they've always been good against the run, better against the run than the pass. Given that Daniel Jones is racking up those passing yards, maybe they're not going to do too hot this game against him. But yeah, I think it is an unfortunate thing that 1, Ward hasn't got the people to throw to, and 2, who else is it with at running back? Is it Tajay Spears with Tony Pollard? I think Tajay Spears is a good running back, but Tony Pollard just sort of fell off a cliff once he left the Cowboys.
Yeah. He's not been the same running back since he left. I completely agree.
So yeah, Cam Ward is just trying to hold it up by himself, and I'm not. He can't do it alone.
No, and hopefully this doesn't lead to him losing confidence and ending up being not being what he should be. This should be a Colts win. I still just can't look at the Colts logo and look at Daniel Jones's face and say that this is a team that's going to win a game. I still don't have that type of confidence. I know I should, but I don't. Anyway, we shall move on to the next game, and that is the backup quarterback bowl, the backup QB bowl, and that's the Cincinnati Bengals at the Minnesota Vikings. The 2-0 Bengals for the first time in, I think, definitely Burrow's history. I don't know how long before that. Beat the Jaguars 31-27, and the Vikings lost to some shit team, but they lost 22-6.
Yeah, they lost 22-6, where only one touchdown was scored in the entire game.
Yeah, so the obviously the Bengals have lost Joe Burrow. I think Bengals losing Joe Burrow is much bigger than Vikings losing JJ McCarthy. Jake Browning obviously came in and he still won that game. People are saying that he's capable. He did throw 3 interceptions. I don't know how capable that is. And they did win that game, but also they played the Jags, who I still can't rate them. Etienne really struggled a lot more than he did the week before. Trevor Lawrence was terrible. I don't know why I'm talking about the Jags.
You just did to me.
Yeah, did you? Jamar Chase obviously had a much better game this week, which makes sense if a backup quarterback is coming in and he's probably going to be throwing to him a lot more. I don't know. It's going to be a tough one because obviously Carson, who's going to be starting for the Vikings, was absolutely terrible in that Chiefs game.
Yeah. But could this be another Sam Darnold story?
Yeah, maybe. I do think the Vikings are a better team overall than the Bengals. So I do think that the Vikings could win this game. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one with 2 backup quarterbacks facing off against each other.
So, let's put it here, obviously, because what we discussed before, they're going to both have backup quarterbacks. The Vikings are also going to have their, in quotations, second string running back and only their second string, rather than their first and second string.
Yeah.
So they are also down a running back, technically.
So I think if the Bengals want to make it into the playoffs, obviously it's going to be hard now with Joe Burrow being out for however long. I think with a backup in, they need to win maybe 4 or 5 games to take them to 6 and whatever it'll be when Joe comes back, and then hopefully Joe Burrow can win out. It would be really good for him to if they win this match, to help along that way, obviously, because looking at their schedule, it's a bit of a gauntlet. So this maybe with the backup quarterback might be on the easier side because it's Vikings, Broncos, Lions, Packers, Steelers for the next 5 weeks. But this is a prediction game, isn't it?
Yes.
So
Can't
would you
remember
like?
Who went first?
I'll go first, and I will pick the Bengals to win this game.
Okay, well I'm picking Vikings. Thank God you went Bengals.
I did say that the Vikings have a better overall team, but I don't know. I'm being hopeful.
I even tried to bring up stuff like them not having a starting running back, so you would pick the Bengals because of that. But apparently, you were going to do that anyway.
Yep.
And against the team that you said this is your backup team this year as well. How dare you stab your backup team in the back?
Oh well.
How dare you stab your backup team with their backup quarterback and their backup running back in their back?
Well, I don't need a backup team because we're talking about the Steelers at the New England Patriots, and the New England Patriots won a game. So I had something to actually cheer for. And excitingly, for the first time in what feels like a long time, is we actually won a game where the offense played really well and won us that game. And it didn't feel so much as like, oh, the other team didn't score as many points as us, and that's how we won the game, if you get what I'm saying. Like, it felt more like we scored more points than them, not like they scored less than us. I know that is the general sense of the word of like winning and losing, but you get what I'm saying when I mean that, don't? Drake May looked so much better this week. we used a lot more motions, and he was a lot more successful on the plays where we used motions. So it looks like we're dialing in and building up a much better scheme for him. And yeah, he looked a lot better. We were obviously playing the Dolphins, who are a terrible team, so we could have been being flattered. We gave up a lot of penalties. That's something we need to really focus on. A couple of the penalties we didn't deserve. I think Will Campbell pretty much had the perfect game, apart from he got given one penalty. I don't know if you saw it, and the penalty he was given for, he was given a false start, but he was pointing out assignments. He was pointing out blocking assignments, like pointing in blocking, and
Yeah.
got like for a false start up for that.
Yeah.
So, bit bullshit. But I mean, we had 12 penalties. So yeah, we really struggled on that side. We were much more clinical in the red 3 and 4. Like out of 4 trips to the red zone, we converted on 3 of them. We look like a much better team. Now defensively, we really need to step up. We're obviously missing Gonzo in the secondary. Our linebackers cannot tackle to save their life. So like Tua goes for 315 yards, but I think he actually threw a total of 100 air yards, and everything else was picked up as yards after, because for some reason our linebackers can't tackle to save their lives. I think our linebackers combined for a total of 14 missed tackles against the Dolphins.
Well, I think a thing that I saw was when they run into a tackle and they do like a shoulder bounce rather than wrapping up. So I don't know if that's the issue, that they just need to wrap up properly.
Yeah. It's just they cannot tackle, and that's what is killing us a little bit. But yeah, I'm feeling much more positive about the offense. I've spoke too much about the Patriots. Do you want to talk about the Steelers?
Yeah, dark horses to win
the AFC Championship, lost to the Seahawks 31-17.
Yeah, but dark horses to win the division this year.
I said AFC Championship, mate. I didn't just say the division.
What?
That's what my outtake was.
So much hotter than I remember. And not in a good way. I'm not gonna lie, just given the defense, I think they're just going to be a bit too disruptive for the Patriots this week, and throw off what I think you were able to do what you did offensively last week because of who you were against and how shit they are. It gave you that week of this is almost a preseason rep type thing. This is practice. Take a chill pill. Let's go through this type thing. I think the way that these defenders are going to come screaming into Drake May's face, it might throw him off a little bit.
I completely get what you're saying. There's two things for that. The Dolphins have a good defensive line. It's not like that's probably one of the better places. The places they're better in. And Drake May had good protection. We actually look good on the offensive line. The other thing is Steelers defense looks terrible at the minute. It looks really bad. I know. We talk about them being super disruptive. They've just not started this year. The way they've always looked. I don't know what it is, but they've not been great.
For example, the week 1 game, I think it was just somebody being smart against them and just running away from the one side that they are stronger. That is a good tactic. I'm not sure that the Patriots will do that sort of thing with Vrabel being a punch you in the mouth type of guy. Don't get me wrong, I don't really have much faith in Aaron Rodgers. You apparently do.
I thought he would still
a miserable loss for him. But I just think because of how they've been playing for a team that I kind of really didn't expect anything from, that they are going to push a bit more.
I mean, the Seahawks, right? I don't know. Darnold was good for the Vikings, and he probably was still good now. And you rate Kenneth Walker the third, but they combined for a total of 400 yards on that defense. That is not a disrupted defense. That is not the same defense we're used to seeing from them. So yeah. I'm confident against this current Steelers defense that we can make something work.
Okay.
That's how I feel.
You have faith in the boys, that's fine.
Yeah, and we're at home. So, anyway, let's move on to the Rams. Los Angeles Rams at the Philadelphia Eagles. The Rams won their game, and the Eagles won their game. The Rams beat the Titans 33-19, and the Eagles beat the Chiefs 2017. What are your thoughts on the Rams at the Eagles?
I think the Rams are looking decent this year. Eagles, like you say, looking a bit lackluster, but they might be taking the easy route of, doesn't matter what stats they put up as long as they end the week with a W. And be quite boring until they get to the playoffs and then really show up so they can get a ring type of thing.
Yeah.
But given what happened last year, I think the Rams are going to come into this game really headstrong and kind of just like learn from their mistakes. Was it twice or three times they played Philly last year? I think it was just twice.
I think
And
it
there
was
was
twice.
only small mistakes that just let Saquon do like a 60-yard run.
Yeah, I mean they did play. Yeah, I remember they played them twice, and they didn't learn from the first time, and they would play. They played like a single high. Every time they played a single high safety, Saquon ripped off like a 60-yard run.
Yeah, so I think they're really going to come in this like as a like I'm going to prove this to you that we can beat you, and also because of Sean McVay, they're going to really like tighten up and clean up that defensive structure, and it possibly might shut down the Eagles' run game as much as possible, so it forces Jalen to throw it. And then because we haven't seen it and like barely any of it this year, who knows what's going to happen if the Eagles have to resort to a like 80% pass game.
The Eagles haven't had a passing game so far this year. They've not looked great on the passing game, and maybe they just it's because they don't feel like they have to use it. But with the angle they're taking at the minute, the Rams could solely focus on stopping that running game, and maybe it'll play in their favour because they're really struggling to pass the ball, or they just, I don't know if they're refusing or what, the Eagles. But then it could also just be like, well, when we need to pass it, we're going to show you up, and somehow Jalen Hurts throws for 300 yards. I don't think he's ever done that in his life. But my problem is like, I'm not convinced by the Eagles, but when I say that, it's obviously the offensive side of the game. If your defense is not allowing over 20 points, it's making it easier for an offense to win a game, and the defense hasn't been terrible.
Yeah.
It's not been as electric as it was last year, but they're not making mistakes. It's kind of like how the Chiefs were, wasn't it?
It's not that they're playing bad, it's just that they're playing boring.
Yeah. So we all know I don't like the Rams, okay? But the Rams had a good game against the Titans.
So you don't have like half the goddamn league. So.
Yeah. But the Rams is definitely one of them. My problem is I think 31 out of 31 teams beat the Titans this year. I don't think there's any team that shouldn't be beating the Titans. Against the Texans, the Rams struggled. They just didn't. It was like they couldn't finish the dinner a little bit when they played the Texans. So I know we kind of always base it off the week before. My jury's still out on the Rams.
Okay.
And the reason I'm saying this is because it's a prediction game. So I was going to say where I think I will go, but you're going to go first. But for me, this is two teams I'm not 100% convinced on. And I think they're both good teams, and I think they're better than most teams. When I say convinced on, is like people have them a lot higher than how I feel about them.
Yeah, definitely. I have my pick. I'm going to go with the Rams.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I feel like they're coming in feeling a bit like the underdogs, feeling like they need to prove it, and they're going to go a lot hard. Like they're going to hit harder. They're going to run everything they can to make Philly struggle. And then, I mean, I have kind of noticed it, and noticed it more week one. Didn't notice it last week. But I do feel like as well as the Super Bowl winners from the previous year, the Eagles are having the refs watch them a lot more, for flagging.
Not when they do the tush push.
Yeah.
As half the Chiefs team complained about.
the Eagles line, as like obviously with us doing this whole line fantasy thing, it has made me notice that they do pick up a few more flags than I realise. So yeah, I'm thinking that the refs are going to be a bit harder on them this year. Maybe that's also another reason that they're like, let's just play safe and do it, do the basics good type of thing rather than be flashy and get flagged and stuff.
Yeah, but this is what happened with the Chiefs, wasn't it? It's like they always, if you go back and you look at the stats of penalties, they always seem to get more penalties, but they got given penalties in points that don't matter to make up for the penalties when it does matter that weren't given against.
Yeah, true. But anyway, I'm going to go with the Rams.
Yeah, so like I know I made a joke earlier, and the past the wild card, and someone like the Rams will knock them out, and now the Rams are playing the Philadelphia Eagles, and we have to predict that game. I am going to go with the Eagles. One, to go against you, and two, because I just want to. As unconvinced as I am, they're still the big boys of the league. Unfortunately, I hate saying that.
I mean, I get it.
I'll go with the Eagles. Let's move on to the New York Jets at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The New York Jets got destroyed, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers won. They beat the Texans 2019, and the Jets got beaten by the Buffalo Bills.
You said they beat them 2019, and I said no, it was in 2025.
Oh, okay.
Just a very, very poor joke.
No, it's amazing. I think we should sit in silence just to soak that joke in.
It's cricket.
The Jets look more like the Jets this week. We obviously were very impressed, or very surprised, should I say, by how they played in week one. They looked a lot more like the Jets this week. Obviously, Justin Fields is on concussion protocol, so that means he will be out next week. This week, and we didn't, and we didn't include him in our injury report at the top of the. We're terrible. Sorry, Jets guys. I can't believe we did that to you. Terrible. Yeah, it was.
I don't think they mind. They used to be in
lockdown. It was a very Jets game. There's not much to say about them from this point. They just looked terrible. I think in one quarter, I read a stat, and it was like Justin Fields played 3/4 of the game and had the fourth least, and was the fourth best quarterback in that match, if you look at passing yards. So I think that game, Josh Allen had the most passing yards with 148 on 25, 148 yards. Tyrod Taylor, who came in for Justin Fields in the quarter, had 56 yards. Mitchell Trubisky, who threw one ball, got 32 yards, and Justin Fields, who played 3/4, got 27 yards.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he was the worst quarterback in passing yards, despite playing 3/4 of the game. There was three quarterbacks better than him on that pitch, which is crazy. So there's not much to say there for the Jets, apart from they look very much like the Jets. Tampa Bay, very win at all costs kind of win for them, really, wasn't it?
This goes to what I was saying before, because I was going to mention it, but I thought we'll talk about it when we get to him, type thing.
Yeah.
Have you seen the thing where Baker goes down and starts like holding his leg as if he's injured, and then the whole like meme thing is Baker remembered that he needs to trash talk, so there's no room to be injured.
Yeah,
he stands up and gets in Gardner Johnson's face.
Gardner Johnson?
It's not CJ Gardner Johnson.
Is he play for the Texans now?
Texans? Yeah. Who are you thinking of? You thinking of Darius Slay who went Steelers?
Yeah, possibly. I don't know why. So the Bucs very much played like I said before, pretty much win at all costs. They did scrape the win out, but they still look decent. I wouldn't say they looked amazing. Bucky Irvin had a great game. Like he's like, I don't know, the way he bounces off tackles, he kind of like teleports around. It was a good game for him, and yeah, Baker Mayfield doing Baker Mayfield things.
I expect nothing less than a Buccaneers win for this week.
Let's move on now to the Las Vegas Raiders, who lost to the Chargers against the Washington Commanders, who lost to the Packers. Obviously, we said before that the Commanders are down one Jaden Daniels. So that means, is it Marcus Mariota will be making his way back onto the field?
Yeah.
Lucky for him, he gets to play the Raiders, who just didn't look great.
No, I don't think they looked amazing. There's definitely some things that need to work out, but it, if there isn't as much pressure on the defense with Jaden Daniels being out, it's possible that Vegas really take this as a chance to be like, look, the week this could be an easy win for us. Let's just go for it. I think Gente fucked up on one of the plays, like blocking Gino, and I know for a fact there was a play where the left guard turned to block the defensive tackle on the right side of the center because the guy he was supposed to be blocking just stood still, and because he just completely turned and faced the right way, that guy just decided there's a hole there, I'll run in, and got a sack. So
Yeah,
the line was just that's clearly that's going to be in the meetings that they have this week and say be like, what the fuck was this? Look forward at all times.
yeah. I mean, the O line definitely let Geno Smith down.
Yeah, like the blocking for him was terrible.
Yeah, and did you see the picture of him looking absolutely traumatized on the side of the field?
I don't think
He's just got like a 1,000-yard stare, just staring into the distance, just like, oh my god, I could die this game.
Oh, is he already got Devontae Adams mode? I've never been hit this much in my life. I'm gonna die.
Yeah, he gave up 3 interceptions, didn't he? But I think a lot of it came down to desperation of I need to chuck this away before I get absolutely creamed.
Oh yeah, I know two of those were deep balls right to either the edge of the end zone or within the end zone.
Yeah, and I think one of them is he gets tackled. He got tackled as he was throwing, didn't he? And the other player catches it in the end zone. So it's like one of those pick sixes that's like pretty much instantaneous because they're already in the Raiders end zone. Oh no, I'm completely misremembering. He got picked off in their end zone, didn't he? I wasn't watching the game fully, and I think because he picked the ball off and it said Raiders on the floor, I assumed it was his own end zone. Does that make sense? But yeah, 3 turnovers. Not a great game for the Raiders. And I think Pete Carroll has said that he wants to try and give Genty more touches of the ball. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, it does seem like a better idea to put the ball in his hands than make him pass block because, that it could have just been a highlight because they were just like, let's highlight when he fucked up type of thing as a first round pick. But that's what I saw a lot of.
Yeah, the Commanders looked a lot better week 1 than they did look last week. Obviously, they were playing the Packers. That's probably 90% of the reason they look worse. They are running with a backup. Marcus Mariota is. I think Marcus Mariota is probably one of the better backups in the league. I can't see him struggling too much. He's obviously got not close to Jaden Daniels in terms of ability, but they still got Deebo Samuel looking good. Terry McLaurin looks good. Zach Ertz had a decent game. In my mind, I do think the Commanders still take this game.
Yeah, I'm a little unsure. Like, if Jaden Daniels was there, I would probably have a bit more faith. But I am also after these first 2 weeks, watching the O line of this team as well. I'm also like, this is fucking shit.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, this could be won by the team who just has the better D line to disrupt the other's offense. And in my mind, that's the Raiders D line. It's a bit like of a simplistic way of thinking of it, but that's just how I'm thinking.
We'll move on to the next game then, and that is the Atlanta Falcons at the Carolina Panthers. The Falcons beat the Vikings 22-6, and the Panthers lost to the Cardinals 27-22. Obviously the year boy, so I'll let you talk about him, but kind of crazy that you only scored a touchdown in pretty much garbage time.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I said in the WhatsApp group, defense was looking good, very disruptive, very getting in the heads of the like Vikings O line and stuff. And like I think you'd said as well, like the Vikings O line is an okay O line, but they looked terrible in that game. So it was good that especially our rookies. A lot of people got their first career sack. Two of our two rookies drafted this year in the backfield got their first career interceptions. Offensively, I think we're good, but I don't know if it's like a panic thing or it was just the pressure from a good defensive front from the Vikings. But the red zone completion is just terrible. And don't get me wrong, I'm extremely happy that there's a kicker who can make every single field goal for us now. It was annoying to watch that every time we got down there, we just couldn't put it in. We just couldn't finish.
The one takeaway from that is, from my point of view, obviously you couldn't finish. You really struggled in the red zone. Is the Vikings do have a really good defense, and they kind of run this bend not break style of defense of like, we're just going to hold you to as minimal points or gains as possible. They're not necessarily like huge plays, are they? I wouldn't take that as like a true look on how you would expect your offense to be. But like you said, your defense looked really good. Your rookies obviously all had a great week, and compared to how you was talking about the defense last year, it seems to be a lot more positive.
Yeah, definitely. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, so there is one thing that I wish did not change in the off season. We have a guy called Troy Anderson who we drafted 2 years ago now, who's a linebacker, but he's been so fucked by injury. Like when he's on the field, he's a good player and he really racks up the tackles, but injuries have just fucked him the entire time he's been here. I was reading something the other day because obviously he's been injured so much that like we had a guy called Nate Landman who was like with Caden Ellis. Those two as a pair were really good as a pair of linebackers. Nate Landman is now at the Rams and he just won like Defensive Player of the Week. I feel like we should have kept him and traded Troy Anderson instead.
Yeah.
But it felt a bit like the team didn't want to admit that the drafted. I know it's an injury thing, but drafted technically a bust. So I think if we would have kept Nate, like the defense would have been in another level.
Yes, we've used the whole 4 minutes to talk about Atlanta. Carolina, hopefully it wasn't just me who was cheering on the Panthers to beat the Cardinals in that final quarter where it looked like had the most bizarre, I think, final drive I've ever seen in my life, where it was like penalty after penalty after penalty after penalty. Did you see it?
I don't think I've seen the penalty thing, no. But I did see I did see like a play where they got down and they were trying to rush the ball. They set up to snap the ball, and Xavier Legette was just like walking back from the Cardinals backfield. He wasn't in a rush at all.
So the final drive, 22-27, they were down. It was a kickoff, incomplete pass, 5-yard penalty against Arizona, incompletion, 5-yard penalty against Arizona, 3-yard run, 10-yard penalty against Arizona, 15-yard penalty against Arizona, 10-yard penalty against the Panthers, incompletion, 5-yard penalty incompletion, sack. So it was like as many plays there was as many penalties there was, and yeah, very strange ending to the game. If you took that tiny part of the fourth quarter out of the game, Bryce Young is the best quarterback in the league, and the Panthers are on the way to the Super Bowl. However, if you extend it for the full game, they look terrible. And it was definitely garbage time stats that almost came back. And as soon as the pressure was on and they could make it back, they looked terrible again. The Cowboys special. Mate, if the Falcons don't win this, you might have to stop being a Falcons fan.
Yeah, I mean, like, I mean, to be fair, I did think that we should have beat them last year in one of the games, but the Panthers just kept shutting down the passing game. But I'm just putting that down to Kirk Cousins being absolute wank.
Yeah, so it brings us on to two losing teams. Houston Texans got beat by the Buccaneers, and Jacksonville Jaguars got beaten by the Bengals. Both close-scoring games. I've lost my faith in this Houston team. I know CJ Stroud had a great rookie year, and he was the most pressured quarterback last year, and everything like that. What worries me is like we've taken away a lot of the blame from CJ Stroud, and I know from like he's really struggling behind a really poor O line and all that kind of stuff, which I understand. I would just I don't know. I guess like the type of conversations people were putting him in after his rookie year, you would expect a lot more from him.
Yeah,
And I'm just slowly losing faith in this team and in CJ Stroud, who I thought I had him up there as a great team, a great player after his rookie year.
no, same for me. I do really think that the O line is letting him down, but because like when he's making the passes, and like he's handing it off to the running back, or even like again, I saw a really good screen to Nick Chubb. I thought like they were playing well type of thing, but like at least every time I noticed it, every time I saw the pocket break down, the pocket broke down from everywhere at once.
Yeah.
There was nowhere to scramble to. It wasn't like, oh, the pocket's broke one way so he can scramble and use his legs. Because that's one thing I've noticed this season so far, that he hasn't used his legs a lot.
Yeah.
He has maintained more of a pocket presence. And I guess even like the person with the best pocket presence in the world will not escape those pockets breaking down because there is just nowhere to go. But I do get what you mean. It is hard to be like, this is the guy when these, especially games, are ending in like this close of a score.
Yeah. And I think in his rookie season, not only was he great, and obviously broke a load of records, and he was quite protective of the ball, and I think he's still following that kind of mentality of being protective of the ball, which is good if you're winning games. I think he needs to kind of adopt a bit more reckless attitude and go a bit more early years Josh Allen. If they were winning games, you would want him to keep protecting the ball, but the problem is not winning games. So just be a bit more reckless, go for it a bit more, show off your arm, show off your ability to run, try and win games more. It's a team sport, and it's not all down to him. I completely get it. But yeah, he was touted to be a top 5 quarterback after his rookie year, and he definitely isn't playing like a top 5 quarterback.
I mean, I would also say, last year there was so many injuries, that didn't help either.
But I agree.
Jacksonville, weirdest fuck team.
Our favourite team.
Where like he was clearly being told to like pass the ball to Brian Thomas Jr. and he just waved the head coach off.
This is what I said. This is what I said earlier, and I said like Trevor Lawrence was like the golden boy for a while, and the Jags were shit, not because of him, and he was in the worst position. I think he's probably the most generationally average quarterback I've ever seen in my life. I don't think he's done anything to justify the conversations around him, and it's like I said earlier, he basically threw a pass that was leading Brian Thomas Jr. to his death. Almost, and Bryce Thomas Jr. had the smarts in the middle of the play, to kind of sit at the top of the route because he saw the linebacker. And if Trevor Lawrence would have just thrown it straight at his chest, it would have been a catch, and he might have been able to get down before getting tackled, or he could have turned around and maybe picked up some extra yards. but he still threw it in front of him. And then, like you said, that kind of interaction between his head coach played out, where he's waving him off, and he's like, one, that's your head coach, like, don't be like that, and two, you're not good enough to be to be acting like you're bigger than the head coach. I know you get paid a shit ton of money, but you've not earned it. I'm sorry, but you've not earned it, and it's just
that was previous GM's mistake.
Yeah, and let's be real here. Brian Thomas Jr. didn't have a good game. He looks like he doesn't trust his quarterback a lot. There was quite a few times.
All that he tried to throw him.
Yeah, but it's like it seems like he really scared of contact at the minute. I don't know, but if you watch the games, he kind of just he's definitely not the same as he was in his rookie year. We'll have to see how that goes. But I think in this battle of mid, I do see the Jaguars sneaking one over on the Texans, especially because Jacksonville have a halfway decent. I think their defense is better than the Texans O line, and will still make it difficult for CJ Stroud to get anything going. Yes, the Broncos at the Chargers, a divisional game. We love a divisional game. The Broncos losing to the all.
I'm excited for watching both these teams.
Yeah, so the Broncos obviously lost very narrowly to the Colts, and the Chargers beat the Raiders. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this game. I think this is a good stamp of who could go on to win this division. I think we both had the Broncos. I've lost a lot of faith in that at the minute and would probably swing more towards the Chargers now, being the divisional winners. They did what they had to do to win that game. There's not much more to be said. They weren't fantastic. It wasn't flashy, none of that stuff. But the defense showed up, held them to 3 field goals, did exactly what they needed to do. And the offense, despite not really getting going much, scored enough points to win. And that's what matters, really, at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah, no, definitely. Like as strong as both of these teams were or are in my mind, I think the Chargers have the edge. Now, the only thing that's kind of ringing a bell in my mind is how much will that Khalil Mack injury affect this game? I'm thinking not too much, because I think the other players that they've got in place can still just be as disruptive. And yeah, Bo Nix hasn't played great these first 2 games. I get that they put a bunch of points last week, but I don't think he personally played great.
No, I know different every season, and he should be picking up where he left off. But you've got to remember that the Broncos and Bo Nix started off poor last season before finally clicking.
I think this is still early, and he's not at the point yet where everything's clicked in, and it'll be better than in the second game they play against each other. This first one will be more of a Chargers win. To me, is either joint or at the very least taking second place for best game of the week.
Yeah, I do think the Chargers will edge out the Broncos. What I did like in the Broncos game is the Colts attacking Pat Surtain's side of the field, and it seemed to work out for him. Only managed to defend 1 pass, so maybe we'll see the Chargers attack that side of the field as well, and maybe Pat Surtain isn't what we thought he was.
So I'll have to double check, but I'm pretty sure I saw him come off injured for a bit.
Yeah, he's not down as questionable or anything. We'll see, but I agree with you. I think the Chargers edge out the Broncos here and improve to 3-0, which is a great start for them.
Now, possibly the worst game of the week, New Orleans Saints to the Seattle Seahawks.
Every single week you say the worst game of the week is the game that involves the Saints. It doesn't matter who they're going to be playing, you're going to call it the worst game of the week.
Because it's factual. I'm not even going to speak on this much. The Saints are shit, and the Seahawks should run. Even when things aren't clicking for the Seahawks, they're better than the Saints. The Seahawks should win this, and they're at home. The Seahawks better win this, and they better put up 40 points on the Saints, because the Saints fucking deserve it. Hate them.
So the Saints only just lost to the 49ers, and obviously the Seahawks destroyed the Steelers.
all the injuries.
Yeah, half a team. And to be fair, Matt Jones had a good game, but Spencer Rattler is just not the guy at all. Obviously, Alvin Kamara is good. I'm with you. The Saints. There's no way the Saints should be winning this game. I'm just worried about the Seahawks.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they don't look like themselves. I completely understand that, but this is a game to build confidence.
Yeah, I mean, they obviously had a much better game against the Steelers. The 2 turnovers is the part that worries me, and I do think the Saints are capable of putting up points if they can get the ball into Kamara's hands as much as possible. So, I mean, my jury's still out, but I'll go with you. It's going to be the worst game of the week.
I mean, I've got a joint second one as well, but yeah.
And is the joint second one the Dallas Cowboys at the Chicago Bears by any chance?
No, it's the one after this.
Okay, fair enough. The Dallas Cowboys beat the New York Giants in overtime with an absolute thriller of a game, and the Chicago Bears got destroyed by the Lions in a thriller of a game. If you're into that type of stuff, for me, the Bears looked terrible in the first week. They looked all right. I complained about Caleb Williams' accuracy. Obviously, he's not improved on that accuracy. He still doesn't look great in that sense. Rome Odunze had a decent game. He seems to be Caleb Williams' favourite target, which makes sense if he can target him. The defense just not great. Whether that comes down to the Lions just being insane, but yeah, they didn't look good. The part that I enjoyed the most is not worth talking about because we're not talking about the Lions. So we'll if you remind me. We'll move on to talking about the Cowboys. The fact that the Giants took them to overtime is not a good look for the Cowboys.
No, but
I know they won the game. I know they won the game. I know they put up 40 points. The Giants' defense is obviously one of the better ones in the league, and they still managed to put up 40 points. But there's got to be worries if the Giants are taking you all the way to overtime.
Yeah, I get it. And yeah, I think that Dallas will take this not easily, but I've lost all expectations in what the Bears are trying to be.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm there with you. I do Chicago at Giants level, and obviously Dallas just beat the Giants. I just don't like. Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze is not capable of pulling off what Russell Wilson and Malik Neighbors can pull off to help them take the Cowboys to overtime if the Cowboys manage to put 37 points up against them, which I see it being very possible because their defense just not locked in, I guess, without saying they look terrible 74 times in the space of 2 minutes. I'm right there with you. We both said before that I think we said it on this podcast that we don't mind Dak Prescott as a quarterback. He just plays for the wrong team. We just don't like the Cowboys. And he definitely had a good game this weekend in comparison to the weekend before. He obviously threw a lot more, just because that fourth quarter was absolutely wild. So I think offensively they're maybe not struggling as much. They just need to fix up that defense. But yeah, I don't think they're going to be too worried about that this game.
I will ask one question though, because you said he's not making those passes and stuff. Do you think Caleb Williams has improved from last year, where you said he holds onto the ball way too much?
Yeah, he releases the ball. He releases the ball sooner. Yes, from what I've noticed, I think he releases the ball sooner because he just doesn't get through all his reads. I think he held on the ball too long before because he took so long to get to his read, and now he's I think he's counting the seconds, and when he gets to the time, he's like, I've not done all my reads.
Yeah,
because I need to. Like I said, his ability to escape the pocket is probably one of the best I've ever seen. He uses it too much. Sometimes he escapes a clean pocket, which is not good. And yeah, he's improved on throwing the ball out quicker. he doesn't read very well, and I think apart from his medium to deep accuracy, which I do not rate, he just doesn't read a defense very well either. So yeah, how long he'll make it in this league, I don't. Whether that's a Bears problem or a him problem, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
But moving on, we've got the Arizona Cardinals going to the San Francisco 49ers. This is the joint or worst game of the week to me, because the Arizona Cardinals are playing shit, and then the 49ers have so many injuries. Their good is just basic.
Well, the Cardinals beat the Panthers 27-22, and the 49ers beat the Saints 26-21. Both of these teams are currently undefeated. One of them will not be after this game. I agree with you. The Arizona Cardinals won 2 games because they played the Saints and the Panthers, not because they're a good team. And the 49ers is Mac Jones, Christian McCaffrey, and a bag of corpse.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, you just said Cardinals had a 2 because they beat Panthers and the Saints. The 49ers, like when they had the healthy guys, that's when they beat Seattle. And then when they didn't have the healthy guys, they beat the Saints, which is just an easy way. Of course, you didn't even need to play the game. Let's just call it there, guys. Let's not waste everybody's time.
Yeah.
Go home.
Mac Jones looked good. I think that's unfortunate for Brock Purdy, and not because I think Mac Jones is going to take his job, but I think if Brock Purdy doesn't come back and ball out this year, he's forever just going to be his assistant quarterback, just because of that one game where Mac Jones looked good, and everyone has Mac Jones down as a terrible quarterback, which he was for the Patriots for one season. The other his rookie season, he looked decent. So I know he's capable of this, but yeah, he's still not there. I would still say Brock Purdy's better by a mile. So they'd probably much rather have him. But like you said, I think Christian McCaffrey is the only starting player to be, like, the only first on the depth chart to be starting, isn't it? In their skill positions.
Yeah, because I think both Brandon Ayuk and Joanne Jennings are both out. I don't know about Ricky Pearsall.
Ricky Pearsall's in, but he's not their WR1. They've took Kendrick Bourne from us, and he's now in. George Kittle is out. I think Kyle Juszczyk is questionable. Left guard, is it Ben Brach? Is out. It's crazy.
Very, very banged up team, and they're playing against the Cardinals, who honestly this like Cardinal bird is more like a fucking vulture this year. It's just preying on the weak. That's all it's doing.
Yeah.
3 weeks.
I think they're going to struggle. They've got a lot of 49ers have a lot of injuries on off. To me, Kyler Murray isn't that guy. He's way past it. They need to stop pretending he's going to become that guy. He's not. I know they've won 2, and that's what matters. He's not looked great. Trey McBride is, and will continue to be, a top 5 tight end, but that's pretty much all they've got going for him, in my eyes. To be fair to Nathan, he was right. They have definitely improved the line. That does look better, but that's about it.
But yeah, this is our last prediction game for this week. Who are you going to go with?
16 ibuprofens and a full bottle of wine.
Is that like 2 lagers and a packet of crisps?
Yeah. I think the 49ers will win this game.
I'm going to go Cardinals.
Oh, we're opposite on every single one. How exciting.
Sorry, let's change the Arizona Vultures.
That is the rest. That is all of the Sunday games. We're now on to all of the earlier Sunday games. We're on to the Monday morning for us, which is the Kansas City Chiefs at the New York Giants. This is 2 teams that have started the season 0-2. I want to start this off with a question, Smith. Yeah. Are the Kansas City Chiefs no longer contenders? Is it official?
I don't think it's official yet.
Thank you. What a really interesting answer. I'm so glad I asked that question.
I don't understand why you're asking it. Is it just because they lost the first 2 games? Is that it?
They lost the first. They've lost the first 2 games since 2014, and the whole thing around it is like, is this it? Like, are they no longer Super Bowl contenders? It's
Dynasty.
it's the first time in Mahomes' career, ever in his career, including high school, college, 3 games in a row, if you're including the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, I've seen the thing that
So
the
I'm
Chiefs
not
passed
I'm not saying the dynasty's over. I'm not saying like Washington they can't turn it around next year. But this year, are they no longer?
I mean, I didn't rate him to begin with this year, so
I know you didn't.
I don't
You
think.
didn't have a make in the playoffs anyway. But technically,
Oh
they're
yeah,
still contenders.
they're out of it. Their division is being run by the Broncos and the Chargers this year. Fuck them. No, they're out of it already.
I like it. Thank you. That was a
I'll
much
go.
better answer. That was a much
Yeah.
better answer than yeah.
Yeah. One thing I'm hoping for this game as well, I want Chris Jones to chat some shit and then Scatterbo just to run up to him and just nut him as he's going through.
Obviously, you think Russell Wilson is QB3 at best. He obviously had statistically a good game against the Cowboys, mainly, like you said, because he threw a lot of deep balls. The deep ball pass to Malik Neighbors for the catch in the fourth quarter, where Malik Neighbors had his eyes covered, is quite possibly one of the best looking passes and catches I've seen combined. Like the pass was to absolute perfection, to the point where Malik Neighbors just needed to have his arms out and catch it. Obviously, Russell Wilson very well known for his moon balls, so it was good to see him show it off. I don't think this all of a sudden screams that New York Giants are capable of points every week.
Oh, I think this was very much a lucky week. Don't get me wrong, if they are able to repeat it, I will be kind of happy that one, there's certain players on that team, like Scatbo, I want to see him doing well. I think that I kind of would like Jackson Dart to do well as a quarterback.
Yeah.
But also make that division that they're in a competitive division, because it is a bit boring that for the teams that they have in that division, it did feel like that it's just the Eagles and the Eagles only type of thing last year. I get Jaden Daniels had a great year, but yeah, I would like to see them be a competitive thing for that division. Whether they're going to be competitive against the Kansas City Chiefs with the defense that they run, not just like the players that they have, but the way that they run it, like how they disguise the coverages and stuff.
Yeah.
If you were to throw Jackson Dart into that one now as the starter, I don't think he's going to do well because he
won't be able
he's
to
not
read defenses as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is for me. It's going to be a battle of who can keep the other team from scoring as many points, and that's how it's going to be won. Patrick Mahomes pretty much had to do everything offensively against the Eagles.
Giants, good defense, as good as Mahomes is. There's still not really a good offense there. Rice is still out and Worthy's still out.
Oh yeah, they don't have a great passing offense by any means. Mahomes is obviously he lost a bit of that. It could be me and 10 pigeons on the field and I'd win a game. But he's still very capable of pulling what seems to be a pretty much dog shit team to almost winning a game. Unfortunately, I just don't see the Giants good enough to stop that. Like you said, their defense is immense. I just don't think that their offense will overcome that deficit.
Yeah, no, I completely understand that.
Final game of the week. For me, this is probably the most exciting game of the week, or at least it'll be the most high-octane game of the week, and that is the Detroit Lions, who just come off a massive win against the Bears, against the Baltimore Ravens, who also came off a massive win against the Browns. High-powered offenses. I feel like every time we do this and we say, this is going to be a shootout, the game ends 11-10 or something. So
yeah, I was going to say, would you reckon 80 to 90 point game?
I feel like it should be, but it won't be. Lamar Jackson is pretty much having his third caliber season already. He looks immense. It just seems like there's always got to be someone on that Baltimore team not pulling the weight, and this week it was Derrick Henry. I'm not saying he wasn't pulling his weight, but he was held to 23 yards. Like you said, because all they was doing was running it up maybe this is Harbour's new tactic of like, we seem to do well when one person is doing bad. So if I team it where someone is doing bad, we'll win the game. I don't know, because
bad every week and then somebody else.
Someone need. I think the point is Lamar Jackson is at his best if someone is letting him down. So they just
Lamar
need.
Jackson in fine, I'll do it myself mode.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So this week it was Derrick Henry's turn. The week before that it was defense's turn. We'll see whose turn it is this time. Maybe it'll be wide receiver rushes for over 200 yards on his own. But yeah, I alluded to it before. I want to talk about the Detroit Lions. This probably isn't going to go into too much of how they perform, but obviously they very much treated this as a revenge game against Ben Johnson, as he backstabbed them, which I believe a lot of fans also believe. Basically, had one foot out the door at the beginning, of the season, and they wanted to prove they can do it without Ben Johnson, and they did it in a very much a huge way against the Ben Johnson coached Bears. One thing I did really like, and I don't know if you saw it. Did you see the celebration?
The fake stumble play as a celebration.
yeah, which was like, this was Ben Johnson's play, and we're doing it as a celebration.
Yeah, that was I was going to say it was a bit of a slap in the face, but it's not.
No, it kind of does look like a bit of a respect thing as well, doesn't it? I guess in a way.
I mean, I saw the interview things where like Jared Goff was like very humble and being like, I thank him for everything he did for this team and everything. He was part of the rebuild for us and everything. But Amon-Ra was completely the opposite. Whereas like the second we see him in that stadium, we're all booing him. I don't care. We're booing him.
Yeah, see, the way I saw that celebration, and the reason I said I like it, kind of then saying like, we can do these plays without you.
Yeah.
We don't need you to be able to do these type of plays. Pretty much everybody on that line's off. I don't think there was a bad player on that offense. They look great. They look like they should have. The fact that they were up 45-21 and was still going for it on 4th and goal instead of just kicking a field goal is very Dan Campbell coded. But
yeah, I mean, that was another interview thing where they were like, did you see that as a respect thing? And he was like, no, that's just what they do.
Yeah.
Like, that's not them trying to run the score up. It's 4th and goal. He's like 5 yards out. What do you expect him to do? He's not going to kick a field goal. He's going to go for it.
Yeah.
That's just what they do.
Yeah. Jahmyr Gibbs rushed for a touchdown and had 94 yards. Amon-Ra St. Brown had 115 reception yards and 3 touchdowns. Jameis Williams channeled his inner Randy Moss and had 2 receptions for 108 yards, 1 touchdown, which is unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, this was. I didn't expect this from the Lions. I expected them to win games, but to see them putting up 52 points without Ben Johnson is not what I expected. As for how they'll perform against the Ravens, this was obviously against the Bears.
Yeah.
Talking very excited how they just played this game. That was obviously against the Bears. It's going to be very different against the Ravens. I genuinely think it's going to be a really
as well. Like all I'm thinking is, week 1 they're against a team the defense could put the pressure on them and they didn't do well. This feels like another team that is going to be able to put the pressure on defensively. I don't know how well they're going to do.
Oh yeah,
maybe,
and I mean,
this did so well against the Bears.
Yeah, this will definitely be them. They will definitely need to prove that week 1 was a blip and not how they perform against good defenses. Yeah, the thing is, the Ravens are a regular season mode. They always look like the best team in the league, only during the regular season. So I would still say that the regular season Ravens should win this game. But I want to see Detroit carry on how they were against the Bears.
Yeah, no, I would like Detroit to, show that they still are that team because they're an exciting team. But
yeah, and obviously, no matter how much you watch football and how much you respect the defenses, the offense is always the entertaining side of it. makes Detroit such an entertaining team. Because obviously their offense is insane. If they could put 50 points on the Ravens, it would be magical. And that is all of the games for week 3. Would you like to give us a bit of a catch up on our predictions for week 3?
Quick rundown. We had the Bengals at the Vikings. You have gone Bengals. I have gone Vikings. Then we had the Rams at the Eagles. You have gone Eagles. I have gone Rams. And then finally, we have the Cardinals at the 49ers. You have gone 49ers, and I have gone Cardinals. So for this entire week, we have gone completely different.
Yeah, impressive.
And I haven't got the scores up, but as far as I'm aware, I had perfect prediction week last week, and you only missed the one game because we did 2 the same and 1 different.
Yeah, and I think the week before that, you got 1 and I got none.
Yes. No, I think it was 2 and 1, so I think we're on 5 and 3 in total. So you're just 2 points.
And I'm going to get all 3 this week, and it's going to be 6-5.
Okay, all right. Well, there's itself. I don't think you're going to get all 3 this week, so there's an extra point for me. 6-6, motherfucker. There we go. There's our predictions. That's what we're going for. That's where we're at.
That's where we're at. Good night, everybody.
Thank you very much for listening. I've been Smith, which is @Sky.Smith on Instagram and Instagram only. You can listen to the podcast at BritCaveBlitz on all social medias. Thank you to my friend and co-host,
Sam. I was lining myself up for a chant, but I couldn't force it out of me.
That was fine. I slightly panicked because I thought you closed the bot mid-outro. But you closed the stream.
I just closed the timer down. I was going to say Who Day. Just because.
I don't know. Who are they? The bot? The stream? I don't know.
Who they think they gonna beat them Bengals? Nobody.
Oh yes, BritCaveBlitz.